Okay, great.
Hello, hello,
Okay,
hello.
what's happening, guys? How you doing, man?
Doing well.
Sorry about being a little late. Had a little family, fatherly duties to had to
Hey,
do, but glad to be here with y'all on this Juneteenth.
we're just off of Father's Day as well, so it never ends, even if it's a day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and it's not as good as Mother's Day either. Just for the record, if we're being honest. I mean, we don't want to start that because we don't need no problems. But I'm
Right,
just
right.
saying, it ain't the same. So, brothers, pleasure to be here with you guys on this beautiful Juneteenth. Where do I find you guys today?
So we're in DC, Washington, DC.
Now, how's the weather there today?
It is toasty.
Nice, nice, nice. Sam, I'm in Jersey. I was
Okay.
on my way home and I just stopped and posted up at a restaurant because I was going to get home too late, so I didn't want to miss you guys.
We
So,
appreciate you.
so Kevin, like, tell us about the brand Blackleaf Vodka. What was the thought process? I know you had the idea came to life when you were on vacation.
Yep.
But to give people like the story of where it all began.
Yeah, so, Blackleaf, French organic vodka. I'm obviously the founder and CEO. So I always say I've been entrepreneurially inclined, right? So I've always had that interest, developed a passion for consumer products. So I know I wanted to do something, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. So fast forward to the trip you mentioned, I was on vacation in Cognac, France. Ended up meeting what seemed to be the only black person in Cognac. It turns out he's a soccer player in the UK, married to a woman from there. So he introduced us to a bunch of people, including a gentleman by the name of Bertrand Leclerc. So we met, and at the moment, I was like, this guy is a master craftsman. I've always wanted to do something. So the light bulb moment went off, and we decided to create something. So with Black Leaf, what we're trying to do is basically, I wholly believe that sustainable, eco-conscious, organic products have to be right. But what people were doing, they would put like a brown paper label on it, and like if you're starting with the finest ingredients, why not put that in a beautiful, sexy bottle? So that's the simple premise of what Black Leaf is, and that's created here.
And what year was that when you started that brand?
Oh man, so we rolled out originally in
Well,
2013.
so no, so from the time that you had the idea, from the time you were in Cognac and it was the brainchild to the time you got it actually to market.
It probably took a good 2, 3 years
Okay,
just to get the product out. Yeah.
got it, got it. I want to make sure that when we're having these conversations, if we assume who the audience might be, that we're giving them the right information, right? So there might be some aspiring entrepreneurs, black entrepreneurs, trying to do what you've done, right? And think that it's taken long. And you said you had the idea. It took you 2 3 years later to get it out there,
Okay.
right? So that's just and then what made you connect with Monty? Like, and I'm gonna just lead the witness a little bit. I'm gonna assume that you were trying to find like some inside industry expertise that could help really create the rocket fuel to take this to the next level. But you can tell me in your words why you partnered with Monty on the brand.
Right. Right. So, obviously no background in the space whatsoever. So I was figuring it out, right? But to really take it to the heights and the levels that we want to take it, I felt it was important to get the right people like around me. So we joined forces to really take this brand to where we know it can go. So Monty, I guess you can give a little bit of your background then.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in and around the alcohol business for a long time. I don't want to even age myself, but I mean, I started off in the beer side of business with Anheuser-Busch, and then I did some work. I had quite a few clients doing some experiential marketing. A lot of my clients were in the alcohol space. Fast forward several years, I worked for the largest alcohol company in the world for about 12 years, doing everything from running production facilities to managing whiskey brands globally. And the brand Blackleaf was presented to me initially from some friends. They were like, you know what? It's this beautiful liquid, great product, but these guys aren't really sure what to do with it. And I mean, I've tasted a million products in my lifetime. When I sampled it, I was like, whoa, this is special. This is really special. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. So when the opportunity presented itself for me to leave my corporate America, he was the first person I called and I said, let's figure out how we can bring some brands to life, and we basically relaunched this brand a couple of years ago, and this became our point of reference as far as, you know what, we got something here. Let's see what show the world.
No, that's dope. So, name of the biggest spirit company in the space that you mentioned that you're working at the time?
Diageo.
Diageo.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you were working there, and why was it important for you to make the trans? Well, two questions. First of all, because I've been in and around this space for a minute myself. I don't want to age myself, but I think it's happening whether I want it to happen or not. Talk about like just the community of people, the Black folks in particular, in that space that are getting that expertise that would even give them the experience, the access, the relationships to even do what you're doing, right? Like how finite was that universe when you first got in it? And then why was it important for you to not like to move from having a job doing that to being more of an entrepreneur, building this thing that probably has a bigger impact on not just your community generally, but your family directly?
Yeah, so the industry in itself is a microcosm of what you see in most industries, right? You don't see a lot of Black and brown people typically in the higher leadership roles, but you'll see them dispersed throughout the organization, right? So, I mean, and that's typical with what you see across, I guess, many industries, right? So, it was interesting because having been able to play a role in that organization, it was extremely beneficial because you get exposed to things that most people will never get a chance to see, right? But going back to your other question, the daunting part was being able to see us move the paradigm, create a lot of things, move a lot. I mean, and I know you know this space, responsible for really growing a lot of brands, but not necessarily always having equity in those brands that are helping to grow. So for me, it was about not only being able to do something, but doing something in the field that I am somewhat of an expert in. I know it. I mean, again, most of my adult life was in that space. How can I take what I've learned and my relationships? Because I'm a firm believer in your network is your net worth. So taking those relationships and combining the two and saying, you know what, we can do this. Let's actually stop talking about it and actually go do it.
Nah, that's beautifully said, and it's really important that because we as a community, we are really good at like promoting other people's things and consuming and
Right.
paying money for and right, but like what we're really talking about here and what you guys are doing and building and the whole spirit of spirited change and reserve brand, what we're doing is like how do we really get people to invest in the spirit of community, right, and be intentional around like just creating generational wealth for people that look like us,
Right.
that think like us, and then how do we take that pixie that magic dust that we put on other people's brands and spray it on ourselves, right, in a
Right.
way like we because we deserve it, you know what I mean? So I think I think that's especially important on a day like today, just to applaud you brothers on really being like an example of Black excellence. Like we're living it in real time. Like you guys are Black history in the making. So I
Thank
want to applaud you brothers. Like seriously,
Appreciate it.
you guys are essential. So let's do something a little bit more fun, man. What could we drink today on the Juneteenth? What could we make on the
you. Yes.
Juneteenth?
Yes.
I'm gonna have the bartender make mine because I had to stop. But I'll
Yeah.
make when I get home. I'm gonna make it for I got my in-laws are from Houston too. I got my wife is from Houston, so like
Yeah.
Juneteenth hit a little different in my house.
Right.
Like
Right.
I'm just getting hip to Juneteenth. I wasn't hip. My wife been doing this shit her whole life.
Right. Right. All right. So we'll get into a French martini. But you want to try a little
Okay.
bit of the vodka? We'll talk about it. Tasting notes. Do a little bit of that. All right. So this here, let me just pour a little bit up. So again, it's a French organic vodka. So it's made in Cognac, France. So I like to say it's born in DC, but made in France. It's
Did
exceptionally.
they didn't come up with a special name for that for the vodka made in cognac because they were the brandy branding is like some of the best branding of all times. By the way,
Right. 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 Exactly. No,
of all
not yet.
time.
Not yet. They haven't
Okay.
figured
All
that
right.
piece out.
All right. All right.
So it's distilled 5 times, copper pot distillation. So it's exceptionally smooth. It has some excellent notes. You taste a little bit of pear, peppercorn, and then it has a silky smooth finish. So I don't know if you have any over there, but we'll taste it for you if you don't.
You ready?
All right.
And I know you've been around some vodkas in your time.
It's nice. That's nice.
Right, right.
It's really, really good stuff.
You know what's good when you drink it straight up too, like
Yeah.
neat.
Right,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Because vodka ain't really a neat. It ain't
Exactly.
really a neat drink. So yeah, yes, okay.
We like to say it's dangerously smooth.
Yeah. We're obviously a bit biased with the brand, but I mean, we've actually won some awards recently that kind of showcase how good the brand actually is. So like we just found out a week or so ago that we won the Singapore spirit competition, double gold. So
Nice.
it's good to know that other people enjoy what we've been telling them is really one of the best that you can ever taste.
There we go.
100%. And a lot of brands have been built on that whole, like, all those awards, right? So that's huge.
Right.
Let's not look at that lightly. Bravo.
Appreciate it.
And we've been doing a clean sweep. We got double gold in San Francisco. We got double gold in New York. We got best of class in New York as well. So the liquid definitely speaks for itself.
Yeah, it's the whole David and Goliath story, right? We're the small brand, but in my Bible, David won, so we'll live with that,
But you're highly decorated though.
Right.
Yes.
Decorated.
Yes.
That's all that matters. I love it.
All right. So we'll jump into the French martini. So I think the recipe will probably be put up, but essentially it's a 3 ingredient cocktail with a dash of salt. So you've got the vodka, you've got pineapple juice, and then a raspberry liqueur. So in our instance, we're using Chambord. So we'll start here. So I'm going to go ahead and so it's an ounce of the pineapple juice. So I put 2 ounces because it's for 2 of us.
I like to pour mine with a little heavier hand, but to each his own.
But we on TV. We trying to show
right.
you.
That's exactly right.
And then raspberry liqueur, we're going with Chambord. So it's half an ounce. So I'll do 1 ounce because it's again 2 of us.
Think beautifully and act responsibly is what we say.
And
as long as you ain't going nowhere, just have a good time.
right. Then it's an ounce and a half of the vodka. Put that in last. And then add a pinch of salt just to enhance the flavor a little bit.
Fancy.
Some would say that's the secret. All right, then give it a good shake. Ideally, you would fill your martini glasses, but we'll skip that part for today.
And while Kevin's pouring, we talked about the bottle, right? So it's a French organic product, beautiful liquid, beautiful pack. Like a lot of people particularly taking things with their eyes first. So Kevin talked about it, but just to elaborate on that, it's our whole focus is on how we make organic sexy. That's sort of our premises, making organic sexy. And you got a beautiful pack, beautiful liquid inside that package as well. So something that looks good on your back bar, something that's good when you're gifting friends, taking it over somewhere, and then when they taste the liquid, we got them.
How important was the notion of sustainability and organic and all that to the crafting of this brand?
Extremely. So, not only is the product organic, but we took it a step further. And, pretty much as we move, we're always going to be looking to do that, right? So, did you mention the bottle with less?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay, so some of the sustainable notes. So we specifically went with a bottle with less glass, right? Because it's lighter weight, it's better for the environment. We have a sustainable top. We have organic inks. So we really try to embrace it and live, organic and sustainability.
Absolutely.
Nice.
All right, ready to try the cocktail?
Let's do it.
All right. Cheers, sir.
Classic French martini.
On Juneteenth.
Right.
on Juneteenth. And today is also World Martini Day.
Exactly.
So we felt it was appropriate to do that. And obviously, you know, we're a French brand. So a French martini made a lot of sense. And it's delicious.
And look, people may say, hey, look, a typical martini is gin-based. But as you said, you drink what you like. That's the best tip I can have given anybody. Drink what's good to you. Drink what you like. So this French martini is a martini that was created in the 1980s by a gentleman named Keith McNally in New York. It's become a mainstay in the martini world, if you will. So for all those purists out there saying, but it's not gin, get yourself something great. You got to try this.
Where can people find more information on Blackleaf Vodka?
Yeah, so you can go on our website. It is blackleafvodka.co, so not .com, .co. Our Instagram handle, where we're most active, is Blackleaf Vodka.
Last question.
Yes.
Most important question. How important is community to the future success of this brand? I'm going. And again, I got to stop leading the witness with these questions. I'm gonna do better next time. I promise. But like, you know, we spend a lot of time like making a lot of other people's things sexy.
Yeah.
Like what does it mean to you? Like, and your kids and your kids' kids, if we understand the assignment and invest back in the people that look like us and care about things that affect us.
Yeah, I'll jump in, right? So, and I'll even take that a step further, connected to today being Juneteenth, right? So, Juneteenth, emancipation of slavery. Kevin grew up in Ghana. In Africa, and literally, I grew up in.
What part? Where in Africa though?
Man, all over. So I was born in Nigeria to Ghanaian parents, lived there a little bit, and then grew up mostly in Botswana, and then came out here. But I'm Ghanaian. I'm from Ghana.
You're Ghanaian. Got it. Okay.
So what's interesting about that, I grew up in the States. So when you think about today being Juneteenth, right? Even though we're sitting here together as business partners, our trajectory of how we got here is very different, right? I can't necessarily trace my lineage the way that he can, right? So when you think of Juneteenth, enslaved people being free, well, that was a physical act. But the reality is, for us today, there's an emancipation that still needs to happen from. We talked about equity and ownership, right? That we still have to figure out how can we free ourselves and really become owners. So that community is super important because it's about us finding collaboration, finding connectivity, and building with each other to actually grow. So that, as you talked about, our kids and our kids' kids and our kids' kids have a very different future than potentially what we would have had we just walked down the normal path of getting a job, doing something, and being done with it. Equity is so important, and we preach that in everything we do. So.
Right. And to add a little bit to that, you know, we're extremely ambitious, right? And we think we're going to take this brand, you know, to the heights, right? In doing so, we know we have to break down a lot of barriers, right? And one thing that I've been saying is it's important to keep those barriers broken, right? So similar to what Monté said, so people that come after us, it's a lot easier, right? So we're very intentional about how we build, with that in mind.
No, listen. I love everything you brothers represent. I think one thing that you just mentioned, Monty, in terms of like the connectivity between the continent and the states, and the difference of the experiences, specifically to Juneteenth. But like, quite honestly, we had a similar experience with colonizers generally, right? And you know, we won't even have like the intellectual conversation around like the whole real journey of slavery, but it's important that we see ourselves as all one, right? That's the win, because
Right.
if we see ourselves as that, numerically we're not minorities. The numbers get different too, right? So like it's more important. So it's about the market. It's the size of the market. Open the market up, right? That's the assignment, right? And we still like we're way better than we were when I was young, but we're not where we need to be yet. And so I love the fact that you guys are a representative of that and are building something important for both your families with that. And on this Juneteenth, man, I want to applaud you guys one last time
Appreciate
and
it.
say, man, we appreciate y'all.
and where our ancestors dream, building businesses and keeping them growing.
Cheers.
Love y'all, man.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate
Y'all
you.
be safe.